Hello, PolyInnovator community. This is the Now Page vlog number 1. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this is that Derek Sivers created this idea of the Now Page, and I want to start doing that more. The past couple months, I've had a Now Page on the website. If you go into the home, down in the menu, you'll see the Now Page, I think, around About Me. And I really like this idea of just explaining to you what I've been working on and just giving an idea of like just the continuous updates, that kind of thing, without making a vlog daily or something like that. But I have been wanting to do a vlog. And at this particular point, the only thing I've been creating are the interviews and the Omni content. And even the Omni content I've been very bad about, which is what we're going to talk about today as well. Originally, what I had intended to do was create an Omni content every day, and in that case, if you're doing it daily, I could even just add a little bit of updates throughout the video, just so people can be like, okay, that's cool, he's working on now that too, like little side tidbits or something like that. But since I wasn't able to do daily, I think there was an issue at the beginning of the year just being consistent, fine tweaking the system of Omni content. There was just a few tweaks I needed to make it simpler to do. I made it overly complicated when I was preparing, which is why execution matters more than planning, because you can't find those things until you actually do it. And then on top of that, I've been having issues with social media marketing tools for years now. I've used over 90 different tools, and I've yet to find more than just one that technically does the job that I want it to do. And what I'm asking for is not even that big of a deal, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. What I'm talking about is what I'm going to be doing this month, what I have been doing since I haven't been doing any updates, and talk about this vlog series that's going to happen. So thank you for being here. If you're watching this, you're either seeing it on the YouTube channel or on the Now Page on the polyinnovator.space website. I'm going to be updating that page after recording this video, because I wanted to kind of get the ideas out verbally and see what comes to my brain, in this kind of ad hoc like video, and then be able to write it out and talk about more stuff throughout the writing. Overall, like I said, I've been doing tons of interviews. I think I've done 37 at the time of this recording, and it's just insane how many meetings I've had just in the past couple months. I started at the end of May, and in this time frame, I've done a ton of meetings, and I've also been on around a dozen other podcasts at this point, and I have a couple for this coming week or so. And so it's interesting how the podcasting aspect has been kind of like my COVID resolution, as one of my guests kind of pointed out as an idea, is that during this quarantine, we have plenty of opportunity, time especially, to do new things. And that's one reason why I've been giving myself a hard time about the Omni content. It's not hard to make. I like making the Omni content. Especially considering that it's content that I want to make. I want to talk about polymaths or multi-potential lights, which the next episode is about multi-potential lights. And so something I want to share, that I made this 90-day content plan or marketing plan, where each week I wanted to make 3 micro polycasts, 1 interview on Tuesday, and then 1 Omni content, presumably on Thursday, kind of making it a duality. Problem is, I haven't made any Omni content, and I'm approaching the 3rd week now. And then I've only released a couple episodes of the interviews, when last week I was supposed to release a 3rd one. Problem was, my internet went out, just completely out for almost a day on Monday. And then throughout the week, last week, it kept going in and out, and throughout the entire week, I had no upload speed. So if I had download speed, it might have been even normal speeds, but most of the time it's actually super slow, like 6 to 10% of my normal speed, which is saying something because I'm used to having a decent connection. But throughout that whole time, I've had no upload speed. I think now this weekend, I finally got something fixed. They were supposed to tell me stuff. They haven't yet. Point being, I think I can finally upload stuff. So I'm planning on getting this next week on point and getting all the episodes out like I normally want to do. And I recently made a graphic that I'm going to be sharing on my Instagram story and saving it to my highlights, where I detail out the content plan for each week. So Sundays are going to have these Self-Education Sunday posts on Instagram, and I'm going to hopefully make more of those here soon. I think I have enough planned out for the next few weeks, scheduled out. And then on Monday, I'll have the hashtag Monday Motivation. It's one of those things that I might as well do. It's fun. It's easy. I have a lot of stories that could help with that. And then I also wanted to do the first micro polycast that day. On Tuesdays, release is the interviews. Tuesday is one of the best statistically days to release podcasts, as well as I try to go for just an average time in the morning, so to speak, CST time. And ideally around 9 or 10 a.m., but sometimes it's an afternoon too. Wednesday marks the release of another micro polycast episode. And then Thursday, ideally, would be the OmniContent day, but I'm not necessarily too keen on just doing it on one day. If I want to make the OmniContent another day, I may do so, but just to keep for an ideal sake, Thursday's the day for that. Friday is another day for micro polycast. That's the last one of the week. And then Friday Innovators hashtag, which is a different kind of series I have on Instagram. Saturdays are kind of like a free day where if I need to catch up on anything, like if I didn't do the OmniContent on Thursday, I'll do it that day, that kind of thing. And maybe some other new series down the line. That's kind of the general outline that I envision whenever I create the content. And that's what I try to do with that 90-day marketing plan. So beyond the whole content thing, other areas of my life, I've had family issues, situations going on, so that's been kind of making me distracted from creating content. But considering, like I said before, we have a lot of time right now. And then on top of that, just income's been in flux, I guess you could say. Not just because of COVID, but just also beyond that. Some of my clients have been out of town. Sometimes my work has been weird. Just earlier this week, I had a completely flat tire on my way to work, and that almost made me have to miss work that day, which would have been a crucial hour because I only have a few hours a week now versus the 20 that I had before quarantine. And so it is interesting how that has been changing my perspective because I have to be able to make income. And then recently, changing the subject, pivoting a bit, I completely revamped the homepage on the PolyInnovator website. So if you haven't checked that out, please go do it. I worked really hard at making it a little more flow in a way. I've been experimenting over the past year how I want to explain the brand. And throughout these POLYCASTS interviews, I creating the idea of my niche being polymathy. I wanted to almost have no niche before and focus on the sub-niches being kind of the main focus. But I realized that people need to know more about polymathy, and the more I did the interviews, the more I realized there's people of this kind of tribe of sorts for polymaths and generalists, and just people who have the potential to do many things. So these interdisciplinary people need a home. And there's other people like me who are trying to create that home for people, but I think that the way that I'm approaching it is different, and I even made a tribe website, tribe.so website for it, and that we can talk about down the line when it gets more up and running. But I think that by focusing on that being the niche, so to speak, and then having the sub-niches being the self-edu-devment for this first phase, polymath exercise for the next phase, poly-innovator gaming after that, and just kind of getting the idea of we're going to create content about those sub-niches for sure. But I want to bring together the innovators, and I think that people who are interdisciplinary are going to be the innovators of this time. And so that's who I've been trying to cater to at this particular point. If you have questions about that, hit me up. Other than that, I don't want to keep talking too much. I've already been 8 minutes in, and this is just kind of like the first vlog of sorts. I'm thinking that on the first of every month, I'll just make this kind of ad hoc video of just what's going on and talk about it and then upload it. Not really anything too fancy. Thank you for being here, and let's go check out that Now page. Cheers.